Good morning and welcome onto the Morning Majlis. A brand new day, midweek as well. We've survived this week right after the long weekend, which is good news. But in terms of celebrations, we've got lots to celebrate at the moment because a lot of us will be flying the flag up high.
Absolutely. Today's theme and vibe is all about go ahead and wave your flag, guys. Today is November 3rd. It's UAE Flag Day. And the Flag Day is celebrated every year to consolidate national identity. It is a day when the national spirit is definitely renewed, and it's an occasion to reflect on the achievements of the era of the President, His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan. So in line with that, authorities said federal and other local entities, including those from the private sector, will raise the flag simultaneously in front of their headquarters at 11 a.m. today. So we're going to keep up with that as well. But since we're going through special circumstances due to the COVID-19 situation, we will share with you the guidelines and precautionary measures that entities have to follow when celebrating UAE Flag Day. But for now, happy UAE Flag Day, everyone.
That's right. Happy UAE Flag Day to all our listeners, and we look forward to talking about that later on. We're also going to be following the United States election as U.S. President Donald Trump and his Democratic challenger Joe Biden have spent the final hours of the race delivering their closing pitch to voters in critical states. And within hours, it's going to be November 3rd in America. So that's going to be pretty exciting for us finally to wind it all down. We'll talk about the surrounding circumstances, how the polls are so far. How much of a lead does Biden really have over the key states that could decide the result? It might be a lot closer than you think. We're also going to talk about what is happening as a result of the U.S. elections. Reportedly, it had some effect on oil prices, a number of other factors as well. But we're going to give you a bit of a wrap on what is happening with oil prices and why they are so volatile right now. So stay tuned for that discussion later on in the program.
Yeah, stay tuned for that discussion. It's been 5 years, and it only feels like yesterday when we had the tragic incidents in France, the Paris attacks 2015, and now we're facing a similar situation in Vienna. We are hearing reports of 2 people have died so far after attacks at 6 different locations in the Austrian capital. So we'll keep you posted about those developments, and it is a developing story. The authorities describe it as a terrorist shooting in Vienna, so we'll keep you posted about that. The hunt for the gunman is still on, so we'll keep you posted about that. So stay tuned to Pulse 95, and we'll be right back after a bit of a musical interval.
Join the conversation with the Morning Majlis, Pulse 95.
Yes, text us at 4215. Big question. Who do you think is going to win the presidential election and why? Is it Biden or Trump? Let us know, 4215. And that's what we're following because Election Day is on November 3rd. Right now in the United States, it's by the end of November 2nd, but it's going to be Election Day pretty soon. And both candidates have been on quite the blitz across multiple states, especially Donald Trump, who's been on fire here, delivering his closing pitch to voters in those critical swing states where it could go either way. And Biden has campaigned in Pennsylvania and Ohio, while Trump toured the voting battlegrounds of Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. And according to the latest polls, Biden still has a pretty big lead.
He does, but if you look at the amount of press coverage Donald Trump is getting, it's quite a lot compared to what Joe Biden is doing, and this is a little bit of a personality thing as well.
For sure, yeah.
Isn't it? Now, in terms of how strong Trump's personality is, and should he win or should he lose, how will he react to this situation? That's also another point to consider. But it's a pretty interesting campaign. And we believe that Donald Trump has had a huge focus on Wisconsin. Is that correct? And that's a key battleground that he's really looking forward to clinging on to.
Yeah, definitely. Wisconsin is a key state for Donald Trump. It is known as a swing state, and the way that U.S. elections work is to be elected president, you must win at least 270 votes in what is called an electoral college. and each state gets assigned a certain number of votes based on its population. So a candidate can win the most votes nationally, like Hillary Clinton did across the country, but still lose the election on those electoral votes. It's sort of a winner-take-all system within each state. And Wisconsin is one of those key swing states as well, and Trump has been campaigning there to try and maximize his lead. He's been banking on the states that he had won significantly back in the 2016 elections, and that's what he's trying to do in those states at the moment.
At the moment, Biden has been leading in both national and state polls and is widely favored to win so far. But no poll has predicted that Trump will definitely lose. Perhaps the most influential of forecasters, his name is Nate Silver, he said or reminded everyone on Sunday that in his projection, the president has a 10% chance of retaining the White House, not zero. So he could have a 2016 moment again in the Electoral College. Now, Biden's lead in Pennsylvania, which according to some forecasts is the, let's just say, tipping point state, is 5 points, which is solid but not spectacular according to Silver. Pennsylvania and Florida will together give Trump 49 Electoral College votes. A tally Biden can overtake only if he wins all of the remaining 4 toss-ups: Michigan, North Carolina, Arizona, Wisconsin, and does well in other states too. So also polling errors do happen. All forecasters were wrong in 2016, and no one is ruling out the possibility that Trump may seek some sort of illegitimate path to victory, although that scenario has many mind-boggling unknowns, so we don't know till now. But the count is not officially finalized for weeks. Back in 2016, it took until December. So what happens on election night is that major TV networks and the Associated Press call the election in favor of one of the candidates, a projection based on exit polls, interviews with voters, and trends, a legitimate exercise and a necessity in the U.S. system. The projections are not usually contested, and the candidate projected to have lost concedes the election. But this year, given the pandemic and the huge volumes of mail-in ballots, there is let's just say widespread apprehension that a clear winner will not emerge today or even the day after, unless any one candidate wins in kind of a landslide, let's just say.
Yeah, exactly. And comparing to both the individuals, Joe Biden has got a very stronger political career. He was a proper politician, and let's not forget that he at a young age he did suffer from speech difficulties, and he had what people call a stutter, and at the moment as well, obviously he's done well in public speaking and reaching the ranks of being a vice president of the country as well. He had plenty of shots at trying for presidency before. Even in 2008, he tried to be a presidential candidate, but sadly dropped out during that race. And Barack Obama gave him that international prominence by giving him the role of his running mate and making him the vice president for 2 terms. Joe Biden describes Barack Obama as his brother as well. Now, it all depends on how the elections pan out, but internationally, a lot of countries will still remember that a pacifist president like Barack Obama had actually initiated more conflict than any other president.
Exactly.
And will Joe Biden continue that legacy? That is the question that a lot of people have. The horrors, the shock that people might have associated with Democrats, and Trump being a personality, regardless of how he has fared. Some people might say he's the better of the two. You never know.
Yeah, certainly depends on who you ask, but one thing cannot be denied is the whole world is watching. Everybody's got a stake in this, no matter which country you're from. And it's a testament to the sheer influence and power that the United States has over the entire world, even to this day. So this is one that's going to be closely monitored, and everyone's got their own strong opinion about who they want as president.
Yes, of course. And let us know on the text lines 4215. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the talk of the hour, talk of the day, because this is 3rd November in the United Arab Emirates. But later tonight is going to be 3rd of November morning in the United States. And of course, because of the postal votes, because of what's happened over the years and because of the COVID-19 situation, we might not know the results until a few days later. But we could also know the results on the 3rd of November as well. You never know. But and the fact of the matter remains, this is going to be a very closely watched presidential elections. Both the candidates have used social media extremely well, and it is everywhere. And everywhere, every platform you look at, it's going to be all things presidential elections. We'll leave you with that thought and welcome your opinions and thoughts on the program. 4215 is the text line for you to get involved in the discussions. We'll take a bit of a break, and when we do come back, we'll be talking a little bit more about the oil market. So stay tuned to Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
The Morning Majlis, talking the stories that are shaping headlines. This is Pulse 95.
Good morning. Welcome back to the program. And we go over to the neighboring Oman. Pretty big story here. Oman is expected or is introducing to an income tax on high earners in 2022, according to the Finance Ministry. That's what they said in their laid out 2020-2024 economic plan, new details of which have been published late yesterday. Oman reportedly plans to restore finances that have been battered by low oil prices. And Oman's plans aim to bring Oman's fiscal deficit down to 1.7% of the gross domestic product by 2024 from a preliminary deficit of 15.8% this year. Oman also has a target of increasing non-oil revenues to 35% of the total government revenue by 2024 from 28% this year. Now, this is notable because none of the 7 GCC states, all of which are oil producers, currently collect income tax from individuals, which would make Oman the only and the first country to be doing something like this.
Absolutely. If a tax on income is introduced, the Sultanate would be the first GCC country to do so. Just last month, a royal decree paved the way for the introduction of a 5% VAT in April of next year. So all 6 GCC states agreed to introduce VAT back in 2016. Saudi Arabia and the UAE brought in VAT in 2018, and Bahrain followed suit just last year. Now, just in July, Saudi Arabia increased its VAT to 15%. Oman has the highest break-even oil price of GCC nations, according to the International Monetary Fund. Sultan's economy is also projected to shrink 10% this year and 0.5% in the next year, and that is according to the Washington-based lender.
Yeah, looking at the situation, it's obviously got a lot of people talking. It's got a lot of economists, a lot of analysts really scratching their heads and thinking, okay, what's going on, trying to figure out. One aspect is it's just a proposal at the moment. So nothing's been passed, nothing's been discussed at a great length. It's just a proposal for the high earners. Another aspect is that proposal does not state or clarify whether those high income have a particular bracket. There is no wage bracket decided yet either. Another aspect is it going to target expats? Is it going to target nationals? Is it going to target any particular group? And that is another aspect that has not been clarified. And this is one of the reasons why we're seeing just a proposal at this stage. A lot of market analysts say it is no surprise to see Oman, given it has the most acute fiscal deficits, to adopt income tax first. Oman was also one of the last countries to start the VAT as well, implementing it across the board. And it's something that we've got to be slightly mindful of in terms of what's happening over in that country. When we talk about break-even as well, their break-even is slightly higher compared to other GCC states when we talk about break-even price for the Brent crude. What does it mean for lots of people who live in Oman and other expats that live in the GCC states? This is what everyone's slightly raising question marks for.
Yeah, a lot of questions here, but no doubt about it, Oman's economy is in dire straits at the moment. According to the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, it is expected to shrink by 10% this year. This is the biggest contraction in the Gulf region, and its fiscal deficit is set to widen up to 18.3% of its GDP from 7.1%. And as far as plans are concerned, it's been doing a pretty radical restructuring of its government. of its finances and its efforts to diversify from oil. Sultan Haytham had said last month of 5% VAT would come into force in April 2021 as the government tries to diversify its revenues. And like you said, Abdul Karim, there aren't a whole lot of details about this income tax. So as far as which bracket it would affect, that's pretty up in the air. But it's pretty interesting. We've had some statements clarifying some aspects of this, particularly where subsidies would go. This is a significant move and is closely watched by the neighboring countries. It aims to redirect state subsidies only to groups that need it, rather than subsidizing all users. So this is another thing that was in the document. It also stated that calculating new electricity and water tariffs will be done gradually in the coming years. So it's essentially going through a major restructuring because of the slump that it's been going through as a result of oil prices, and Oman's income tax is a pretty big part of that.
Yeah, the other aspect is the IMF and all these international groups also, pinpoints in the GCC states in particular, and advice surrounding the fluctuating oil prices as well. And they say there's two things that you need to look at. Firstly, you've got to consider your balance of payments when it comes to public sector, how inflated it is, how expensive it is to operate your public sector. And secondly is about taxation. And this is why the VAT was introduced in this part of the world in way back in 2018 when they had, and in 2016 they had agreed to introduce it. And Saudi Arabia and UAE brought it into 2018, and same year Bahrain also followed suit. Saudi Arabia then increased VAT to 15%. So it really goes to show how things are changing in terms of the mindset in this part of the world. So that is a point to consider. But at the moment, as we do not have any more details, it'll be too early to analyze and assess the situation and the announcement by Oman for having potential income tax for really high earners. And we'll keep you posted about this in greater detail as we get more and more information coming in. Time now for us to take a bit of a breather on the morning Majlis. We'll keep you motivated with some musical entertainment, and then we'll continue the discussions. We'll do a little bit of a recap in terms of what's happening in Vienna, as well as the Amazon fires that have taken place and been slightly under the radar because of other big developments that have been taking place across the globe. Stay tuned to Pulse 95.
Pulse 95. Between local lines. Notes from the Emirate.
Hello, welcome back on to the Morning Majlis, and we're talking about all things Sharjah. The Sharjah Investor Services Center, Saeed Center, has announced it has begun providing Tasheel services to local and international investors at its offices in Al Qasba area. And the new services offered in collaboration with the Ministry of Human Resources and Amortization and Tasheel Al Thiqa Services Center. And it expands the portfolio of services provided by Saeed Center, which will allow both investors and businesses looking to set up shop in Sharjah the convenience of having all their administrative licensing, paperwork, and other requirements handled under one roof. So with this new partnership, the Saeed Center will provide investors a full range of services for business registration and also issuance of permits.
Yes, and the director of Saeed, Marwan Saleh Al-Lichla, said that the happiness of our customers is at the heart of our center's efforts. He said that Saeed has been partnering with various government departments and institutions to offer a comprehensive portfolio of services under its roof in a bid to boost the business-friendly environment of Sharjah. He said ultimately those values added services to promote Saeed's efforts to increase business and investment opportunities in Sharjah's vital sectors in response to increasing interest from investors. And previously, the Saeed Center had partnered with the Ministry of Justice to bring their notary services to local and international investors alike, including attestations, power of attorney, sale and lease contracts, declarations, and undertaking, all in less than 5 minutes.
One amazing thing as well is that they've brought the services of Sharjah Media City, issuing a free zone license, health insurance under the roof of the Saeed's Center. amazing initiative, because a lot of investors, especially the investors of Sharjah Media City, they have to travel a pretty long distance. It is along the Zaid Road to head to the main offices, and that's where they can submit their documents. But now having one area for this service is incredible as well, and to even get health insurance purchased from this center, also very, very ideal. Just it's really incredible and very convenient to have all of these attestations, power of attorney, lease contracts, declarations, and undertaking in less than 5 minutes as well, because the Zaid Center has also partnered with the Ministry of Justice, and that's amazing as well to see. They've also signed an MOU with the Federal Authority for Identity and Citizenship, allowing the rendering of a full range of government services to local and foreign investors, including visa, residency, sponsorship, permit, and fine exemption request services, among others. Investors and business owners are the type of people that want convenience at all times.
Definitely.
You know, they're the people who are working 24 hours. They don't have time to say, oh, by the way, sorry, client, I can't meet you today because I have a meeting with, I have to go to the identity authority first, then I need to get the attestation done there, and then move to this department and that department. Having one center in the heart of city in Al Qasbah, incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And they offer a ton of services, renewing licenses, replacement of licenses as well. And the services are all encompassing multiple government institutions all across the board. And it's all part of the good work that Saeed, Sharjah Investor Services Center, has been doing. It is part of the Sharjah Investment and Development Authority, Shuruq, and operates under its umbrella with the Injazat Services Group and in cooperation with the Sharjah FDI office, Invest in Sharjah, to make life a lot easier for businesses and investors from around the world.
Yeah, so shout out to the friend of the show as well, Mohammed Al-Masharikh, who is the CEO of Invest in Sharjah as well, for a wonderful initiative, and incredible to see how the Sharjah Investor Services Centre has now expanded its offering. Comprehensive range of services offered by the Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry, including membership registration and renewal, origin certificate for associate members, ratification services, among others, can all be availed at the Said offices in Al Qasbah. Very, very incredible as well. Let us know on the text lines 4215 if you are an investor in Sharjah and have benefited from their services on offer at the Said Centre and would like to take part in it as well. Let us know on the text lines 4215. We'll be right back here on the Morning Majlis right after the news headlines. In fact, there is lots to discuss, lots to ponder over. Ahmed Dawood is going to have very, very busy few days now as the Sharjah is ready to host the International Book Fair. Stay tuned to the Morning Majlis to find out more details about how you can attend as the event kicks off tomorrow. This is the Morning Majlis, only on Pulse 95.
Entertainment headlines.
Entertainment headlines.
Entertainment headlines.
This is
The Buzz.
Known as a teddy bear himself, good old Ed Sheeran, he's now going to be supporting and helping playgrounds because he has now come up with an idea to donate his house painting to clear and to make sure that the young ones have a jolly good time.
Yeah, he has put one of his artworks on sale for the first time as part of a charity auction. So he used house paints to create DAB 2020, so-called as it is the second painting he has given to his dad, John, whom he calls Dab. So that's where the name comes from. So it is the first time one of the Suffolk Singers paintings has been made available for sale. And it's kind of like a colorful abstract, and it's part of the Ed Sheeran Made in Suffolk Legacy auction. And this auction was organized with help from his parents to support youngsters in his home country, including redeveloping a playground in Ipswich. So he previously said that he painted a canvas a day for 30 days. So that's 30 canvases. Yeah. Wow. He said, I bought house paint and just laid it up by flicking it. I just do my art and I love doing it.
Wow. So it's all abstract art, and it's really incredible to see Ed Sheeran being so multi-talented as well. It's incredible in terms of the auction called Made in Suffolk exhibition, which also tells the story of his rise to global stardom as well. Fans can also bid for handwritten lyrics to his song Perfect, his childhood Lego, and a £3 ticket to his first ever gig at Framlingham, a Royal British Legion club as well. And so this is going to be pretty interesting. And David Beckham has also donated his shirt for the charity auction, and funds will also benefit the town's St. Elizabeth Hospice, and which aims to help teenagers and young adults with incurable illnesses live their lives to the fullest as well.
Were you ever part of a charity or a fundraiser? Like,
loads in the UK.
yeah?
The UK is well known for it. There's a lot of different charities, a lot of different projects that you can take
Like
part.
you organized it, for example, you put it together, not just gave charity.
Not me personally, no.
Yeah.
No, I've taken part and I've volunteered.
Yeah.
I'm very bad at organising things. I like to take part in them, but to getting a group together to say, okay, let's raise money for this, and never been like that. But no, it's incredible how Ed Sheeran, despite all the stardom and despite all the situation at the moment, is going to be out there and coming out for a great cause as
I
well.
remember when I was 9, maybe, I made lemon juice in the garage. I made lemon juice and I sold it in our home garage. Like, I opened the garage door.
Standard American thing to do.
Standard American thing, yeah.
Sell lemonades for pocket money. Can't make pocket money.
Lemonades,
I'm going to
yeah.
make lemonades out of the garage and then try to sell it.
Yeah, I sold that.
That's good.
That
That's
was
good.
my first attempt.
Entrepreneurship. That's
That was my
always
first
good.
attempt.
Yeah.
But it was for a fundraiser. I forgot which one it was, but it was for a cause. It
A
wasn't
very
for
good
me.
cause.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, there's a cause here now. We will be parting ways. We'll be saying goodbye to you now. Morning Majlis shall return tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7 a.m. And we're counting down the hours till the Sharjah International Book Fair. If you'd like to catch up with most of our discussions, SoundCloud and Apple Podcast is there for you to listen to us. And if you like a visual experience of the Morning Majlis, and of course YouTube it is. For now, we shall be seeing you tomorrow morning.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. Please be safe, be happy, a happy Tuesday, and see you tomorrow. And stay tuned to Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of The Morning Majlis, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.